Hello everybody, it's Niklas and welcome to this new video on OpenToonz. So I'm going to make an introduction of this great software OpenToonz because you can create 2D animation. It's open source and it is a very advanced software for 2D animation. It is amazing, very difficult at the beginning to start with this software because many things can disturb you, but it is very amazing. If you like my video, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You want to learn more about OpenToonz, everything is on the first link on the description. You will have access to a course, and in this complete course you will learn everything that you know in OpenToonz, and thanks to that you will have a great level to create all your 2D animation. So everything is on the first link on the description. So we start with OpenToonz. The first thing that we can do is to take a glance about the dashboard. So here we have the window, workspace, and the first thing that you need to understand in OpenToonz, we work with different rooms. So here the different rooms, depending of what you want to do, you need to choose one of these rooms. We use the most the drawing rooms, and at the same time we can use a lot of times the animation rooms also. Sometimes we can use also others, but if you go on palette, for example, you have a color palette. You can find also in drawing the color palette, level palette. So generally we use the most drawing room and animation room. So this is the first thing that you need to know. When I'm in the drawing room, on the left I have all the different tools. Here you can find how to play animation. You have a timeline, horizontal timeline. And when you are on the right, you can change the color, and you have also a level strip. When you go on animation, you can work with a timeline and the view. Here you have a function editor, but in the timeline, we work with column like this. So this is why we call these columns, because in animation room, we work vertically, but in drawing mode, we work horizontally. You can at any moment, if you want, edit the windows. But for example, you can choose anything that you want, but I think we are going to keep this window. I'm not going to show you how you can create a new room, but if you want, it's possible to create a new room. If you go on edit, on file, you can take a glance on the preferences. One more time, you can go on interface, you can change the theme. And something interesting, you have the possibility on exportation. By default, it's not possible to export in MP4 file, but if you download FFmpeg, you have the possibility after to export in MP4 file, like this. So this is something important that you need to know. When you create a new document, by default, you will have a view camera with 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels, just like this. So this is the type of thing that you can do by default. When you start with OpenToonz, you can work with 3 different levels. It means like to create columns. Columns, it is little like layer. So if you just click here, you can create a new level in vector. You can click on OK, and I have a new column vector. And each time you will have different options for the tools. If, for example, I select one of these tools, for example, the brush tool, here I have some options, and I need to select a color. I can go left click like this and take a glance. This is vector because we have perfect outlines. If now you can see the option of the tools. If now I work with this new level, but this time it is a new raster level, click on OK, and I can use one of the column on one of the colors that I have. Here, as you can see, it is little different about the options. We can work with hardness and we can work with opacity because we are in vector. And take a glance, we have pixels like this. And you have also another type of level that you can create. So it means you will have different columns. It is a Toonz raster level, new Toonz raster level. And when you click here, you will have some options. And with the Toonz raster levels, you can mix options of the raster level and vector level. It is like a raster level, but with more advanced feature. For example, I can work with hardness, but I can work also with smooth. And normally we have smooth in vector. And take a glance, you can also make some drawing just like this. So you need first to select one of the level you want to work on this area. It's something extremely important. Already you can see that it's not really easy. First, we need to select this type of thing. Other things not easy in OpenToonz. When you create one of the tools, I can use my rectangle tool. Each time I need to create a level, let's work in a vector, just like this. You can select the type of shape. Let's select rectangle. If I create like this an element, I can use my fill tool, and as you can see, we just have one column, only the black color. We don't have a palette by default, so you need whether to import a palette, whether to create new color each time. And I can click plus, select a color on this area, why not the red color, and I can fill my shape now. And it is also difficult to understand color and stroke in OpenToonz, because if I click here, with your selection, when you want to create a selection, you need to use your selection tool, left click, and take a glance. You can add a stroke just with this element, just like this. So already at the beginning, also when you create selection, it's little strange about different things. After, you need to understand that you have many tools, many different options on the left to make some transformation. Something interesting that you need to know, if you want to create an animation, let's create some basic animation. I'm going to select the geometric tool, shape, circle, and just let's create a circle on this area. And I can use my red color, use the fill tool and fill my circle. If I use my selection tool, I can select the circle, drag and move. When you want to create an animation, the first thing that you need to do is to click on the first frame, and you have this small element, and you need to drag and move on the timeline to see how many frames, how many images you want to create your element, like this. So here it's 40. I'm going to create an animation with 40 frames. To create an animation, you can use the animate tools. And you have different options: position, rotation, scale, shear, center, and all. First, I need to position the center, for example, here. And then I can apply position. So this is my first position. You can activate a keyframes with set key or Z on the keyboard. You can see a small key here. And for example, I can decide on 20 to drag and move my circle on this area. And I can go on 40, and on 40 drag and move here. And I set a keyframe at this level and at these levels. So now if I just come back, take a glance, I created this type of animation. This is the first type of animation that you can do. But in OpenToonz, if I create a new vector level again, like this, you have the possibility to create a sequence of image. So it means you can go on the right, you can draw something with, for example, the brush like this, and each time you have the possibility to go right click, and why not to duplicate the drawing. And on the duplicated drawing, you can use your eraser like this. You can, for example, erase and create another drawing after. Here it's not too good. Create another drawing, for example, after, and each time you can go right click, you can duplicate the drawing, and you can create also animation like this. After, you will have to drag and move your drawing on the timeline. So this is a two type of animation that you can do in OpenToonz. So as you can see, it's very advanced. I can come back to my frame 1 to see my circle. So now, if I continue with OpenToonz, you don't stop only here. I'm going to take my column 2 and just go right click and delete. If I click on my column number 1, you go on animation panel, so you can work with the animation vertically. You can also have functions, so each time you can select the stage. Here is my column number 1, and you can edit the value on the left. It's more advanced parameter, difficult to understand at the beginning. You can have access also to an open function curve editor, and thanks to that you can change each time the interpolation. You can go right click, you can apply, for example, speed in, speed out interpolation. Here I can click, right click, speed in, speed out interpolation, and you can at any moment change the speed. So it's extremely useful. Each time you click here, you can also change the interpolation like this. You have many advanced parameters. You can use also schematic, and in schematic you have the possibility to add effect. Right click, add effects, and many different effects. So we are going to stop here. It was just a brief introduction to OpenToonz, free software for 2D animation, extremely powerful, extremely amazing. If you like my videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channels. If you want to learn more about OpenToonz, everything is on the first link on the description. You will see the model, the session of a complete course, and at the end of the course I can promise you that you will have an amazing level, a great level, around many hours of course, and we see all the main features of OpenToonz. First link of the description on this for a next video. Ciao ciao.